quickly this year, before Charlotte Flair came back and stripped and got the title off of Ronda and became a 14-time women's world champion, they were setting up a. There's a rumor that WWE was setting up a match where Becky Lynch was supposed to win the women's Royal Rumble, so she can face Ronda Rousey for the for the SmackDown Women's title to get so she can get her redemption on her from that WrestleMania back in 2019 when it was like when it was the women's main event of WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Ronda Rousey for both for the undisputed women's championship for Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship, and they were scrapped because of Charlotte Flair coming back and taking the title from Ronda Rousey on the New Year's Eve or the New Year's Day SmackDown of the final SmackDown of 2022. And honestly, I'm glad the plans were stripped. Me personally, I'm glad the plans were stripped. I know that you wanted Becky Lynch on um the wrestling scene, like the top of the mountain and everything. And I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for her to be back on the top of the mountain. But I feel like that that storyline would be deaf. I mean, I won't think it would be pointless because technically getting redemption on Ronda Rousey. But at the same time, like Ronda Rousey holding the title to Mania, it would just be a boring ride for her. Come on, let's just be honest here. Becky Lynch would obviously make the SmackDown Women's title 2 times as better as Ronda Rousey. Let's just be honest here, man. Any woman in the SmackDown Women's locker room can be honestly better than Ronda. I mean, anybody. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, like anybody. Give Bailey the SmackDown Women's title. Oh God, I feel like she held the title before in the Thunderdome, and she did a really good job of holding her own in the Thunderdome with that title. So I wouldn't be surprised any of those women that I mentioned, or even more, any of the other women in the locker room can hold that title better than um than Ronda. Shoot, I want Shayna Baszler to take the title off of Ronda, honestly, because technically, instead of Becky Lynch, this is what I wanted. I basically wanted Shayna Baszler to take the title off of Ronda Rousey. Reason why? Because since she partnered up with Ronda Rousey, yeah, former MMA, former MMA star, former MMA star, they go together, right? Obviously, because they friends, they friends and everything. Obviously, Shayna sees the potential, like, yo, I should have been women's world champion long ass time ago. Way like long ass time ago. And after that, she feels like, bro, you know what? It's time for me just to turn because one, I've missed out of a world title opportunity for way too long, and I feel like this should be a point at the Royal Rumble. You feel me? I feel like there should be a point at the Royal Rumble, or if not even the Royal Rumble, more like actually, yeah, more like an episode of Raw or SmackDown where she turns on her her former best friend Ronda Rousey, and then they have a rivalry all the way up to WrestleMania Hollywood, right? And they have the first match. You know, they have their like they just go back at it, like back and forth at it, and their whole match is leading up to you know leading up to WrestleMania. So obviously, in my opinion, they'll have Shayna Baszler winning. This is my stuff. So it'll be Shayna Baszler winning the Royal Rumble, 2023 Royal Rumble. Then she goes on to face 5 other opponents in Elimination Chamber, and then once that happens, all right, once that happens, she'll be a fit. And when she wins the Elimination Chamber, then she goes on facing Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title. And at WrestleMania, she dethrones Ronda Rousey and becomes SmackDown Women's Champion as a heel, not a face. Well, technically, she turns. Well, technically, she'll be a face. I want to see like she's a heel because Ronda Rousey wasn't a heel. So I feel like she'll be a face when she wins the championship, and then eventually, after a while, she will turn heel and become a champion and go long like she did with the NXT Women's Championship. So I just feel like in my offense that it should have been Shayna Baszler to to dethrone Ronda Rousey, not Charlotte Flair. As much as we wanted Charlotte Flair, you know, probably not to come back, but she came back anyway. And like, I'm gonna give you this big, huge L by Triple H everywhere for changing her theme music, changing her ring attire, everything, just everything about her. And I love it. I love it. But personally, I feel like Shayna Baszler should have been the one to dethrone Ronda Rousey. In my defense, because look, we all know how her wrestling style is. We know that she's really good in the ring. We know that she can cut a good or a decent promo and can actually talk the talk and walk the walk when it comes to ring. Ronda is not any of those two things. She is more like, in my opinion, she's more like she can wrestle ish, but she's terrible on the mic. We could all tell her mic skills is so fucking garbage. It's not even funny. Like it is dog water. It is doo doo. It is like a sewage. Her promo skills, her mic skills is so goddamn bad, bro. It's like it's like how am I supposed to say this? It's like James Ellsworth when he was in when he was on SmackDown, man. Like his run was so bad, and I compare his run in the WWE to Ronda Rousey's run, her second run, not her first run. Her first run was legendary. I loved her first run. Her second run, this second run that she's doing is dog water awful. It's garbage. All right, like I said, it is super water. You feel me? So like I feel like if they want to develop Ronda Rousey properly for her second run, put her on NXT. All right, just like you did with Mandy Rose. She like they put Mandy Rose in NXT. She got better with the mic skills. She made better. She got better promos. She made a good ass faction that was basically on top of NXT for a long ass time for that good year and more and some change. And then on top of that, her NXT Women's Title run was fantastic. So I feel like Ronda Rousey should do the same thing what Mandy Rose did and go back to NXT, develop her mic skills, do better promos, learn how to do better promos, develop her more like, better in ring skills and, better finishers and stuff like that. And I feel like she will definitely skyrocket to the top. I definitely feel like she can do that because, don't get me wrong, yes, she has an MMA background, but the way that she wrestles is so bad. She basically beats people from her finisher. Sometimes her not her finisher, some from her submission. Sometimes her finisher, but mostly her submission. But in my defense, honestly, in my defense, she just needs to get better at everything before she comes back in the championship scene again. She needs to get better at everything, and I mean everything. Like she needs to start being loved by the fans. She needs to start getting cutting better promos. Start needs to be better on the mic skill for her mic skills to get better. She needs to wrestle much better. She needs to, stop talking shit in the fucking ring and just wrestle. And every time you see her, she'd be like, "Oh, just tap! Like, come on, just tap! Come on, just tap!" And like, if you're gonna put on a very exciting type match, it something exciting has to happen. Like with Bianca Belair, we get that type of excitement with her because she can actually cut good promos, can wrestle good, and she's always unique with everything that she does. Everything. So in my defense, man, in my defense, like Ronda can get better. She just needs the proper guidance, in my opinion. She needs the proper guidance and actually can do better in anything because Right now with Ronda, it's not looking good for her at all. Who knows? Like if she's continuing on this path, she might get cut from WWE. I'm just telling the truth. Because me personally, like, or anybody else in the WWE universe can see that, like, she needs to get better, or else she's gonna get cut real quick, real fast. And then WWE's not gonna know what to do with her if she doesn't, get better with everything that I just listed. Like NXT right now is her best bet for her. Like honestly, NXT at this moment is her best bet for her. She can, learn her mic skills from some of the women wrestlers on there. She can get better at everything, and plus she can also teach some of the, the upcoming stars like Indy Hartwell or Keena James or Zoe Stark or Nikita Lyons. You know, I wouldn't say go after, the NXT Women's title right away because, she needs to learn her place first. She needs to learn her role in the women's division if she wants to get better at it. But personally, and me personally, like I said, I'm glad that all the plans for WrestleMania 39 was scrapped because I would say in my opinion if they would have went with that with Ronda and Becky Lynch getting their rematch against each other at WrestleMania, I would feel like the match wouldn't be good. It would be like decent because we already know how Ronda is at wrestling. Come on now. Like Ronda has some screw loose in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like she does, but personally, and I say this with utmost respect, personally, right now Ronda's shitty booty. She's shitty booty. I definitely, definitely feel like go back to NXT. Like I said, work on everything about yourself, and you could come back and maybe like a good, not even a year, maybe give it like 2, 3, 4, like 2 to 4 years, man, 2 to 4 years on NXT. And then when she comes back, probably becomes world champion on there. Maybe after year two, then she could come back and prove herself better in the ring. And if she does get better in the ring, then we probably respect her more as a champion. But till then, that's what I feel like should happen in my opinion.